Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Darvanalee Design Stitch with me. We do this every Monday, so let's get into it. Good evening everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while we do a little bit of cross stitching together. As you can see, we are working on Snow Village. We are doing this little block. We're doing this as one piece, but if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you for taking some time and clicking on this video and seeing what it's all about. I hope you enjoy your time here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you won't miss out on any of my crafty adventures and or Stitch with me's. Alright, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back again. I do enjoy seeing your names pop up in the comments, and I appreciate you tuning in every week. I know that some of you are working along with me while we do the Snow Village. We are about halfway through, so what I decided to do, and we work on this, for those that are new here, we work on this every week. And I'm going to continue to work on this every week until it's finished. So basically what I've been doing this year, because I have made so many, like in past charts and even this one, I've made some counting errors and stuff like that. So basically what I'm doing now is off camera, I'm just mapping out what I'm doing. And so I'll just remove this and you can see how much I've mapped out this week. So last week, the last couple of weeks, we've just been doing this, more talking than stitching apparently, but I had 2 lines of just the first part of the leg of the cross done. So while I was sitting there and not doing much and in a little bit of pain, I set myself up on the couch and I just did all this. So I've got to do this side as well, so that'll be next this week's map out, and then I'll probably start mapping out the banners. So what that means is I can just stitch and I don't have to think about it, and I don't have to count either, so that makes life a lot easier for everybody involved. So I'm just going to move that up a little bit and we're going to get stitching. Now, it is Monday morning at 6:25. I normally film these on a Sunday, but if you're with me on Saturday for our slow stitching Saturday, I said that I was going to go off and do some housework and all the rest of it. And as I always say, no good can come of housework. I don't know what I did. I'm normally so careful. I picked up the washing basket, and it was just one load. Like, it wasn't a lot in there. I think there was only like 6 or 7 towels in there. And like tea towels, not even full towels. And yeah, I bent down to pick up the washing basket to take it out, and I felt a pinch in my back and in the top part of my back. Now, I've had problems here before. When I had my first child, I tore a muscle under my shoulder blade, and I've had issues with it before, and I'm usually very, very careful with what I'm doing. If my back is tender or whatnot, I won't pick anything up. I'll go and do some yoga, stuff like that, stretch it out, you know, just do gentle stuff. And I usually am, for the most part, okay, but I don't know what I did on the weekend. I bent down, picked it up, felt the pinch, went, oh, walked outside. I didn't bend back down to put it down because sometimes that's when I'll do damage. So I walked outside, held the basket even with me, walked outside, and that didn't hurt. And I got outside and I have a chair out there, so I'm not bending down all the time to get the clothes out of the low-lying basket. I've got a chair out there. I sat the basket on the chair, so I didn't feel any pain at that point. I pulled out, I thought, oh, okay, it was just a pinch, it didn't do any damage. Anyway, yeah, not so much. Picked up the first towel, lifted my hand above I just started to lift it up above my shoulder, and yeah, no, that was not good. So I hung out my towels really dodgily with one hand, and just, I normally hold hanging them up by the ends, so the full length of the towel is getting some sunlight, and you know, they dry quicker and all that sort of stuff. I just folded them in half over the clothesline, stuck a peg and called it done. Went back inside. Went and had a hot shower, and I can sort of rub it a little bit, and it usually loosens it up in the shower, but it's, yeah, I must have pinched it pretty bad because it is still tender today. But yeah, so normally I have these filmed on Sunday, and I just couldn't sit out at my chair because I do have to look down. So when I move my neck, I get a pulling sensation on the left side, just down near my shoulder blades. So I thought, you know what, I'll just relax. And unfortunately I can't film in my lounge room because it's so dark. I mean, I probably could if I took my studio lights in and all that sort of stuff. It'd probably illuminate this a lot better than where I am right now. But yeah, that was a lot of work, and I just wasn't up to it. So yeah. So my plans today is to just do some paperwork, just take it a bit slow, and if I get nothing done, I'm not really fussed about it. I'm pretty much caught up now. It's not going to put me behind or anything. I do a little bit of research for articles for the magazine and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, so anyway, it's all sort of happening in the background, so I can just take my time. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to stress about it. So needless to say, my breakfast this morning is a cup of coffee and some Panadol. And so I'm trying, so it's like having your wing clipped. I've got to have my arm close to, like, my elbow pulled in towards my body, and that just lets it repair. So I've got to remember just to keep my wing tucked, so to speak. Update on the little kitten. We took it down to the RSPCA, and they had actually a group of kittens a group of kittens that came in a couple of days beforehand that were found. They were, I think she said they were found downtown. They couldn't find the mother, but they found the litter of kittens, and so it was a little boy. He was going down. He was going to go in with them, and they were around the same age, so that was good. Yeah. I was worried that, you know, he wasn't going to eat or whatever, because I couldn't really get him to eat. And she basically said that if they have to, they'll bottle feed him for a day or two just to get his hydration back up. But he'll start to eat pretty quickly. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, but he's all good. He'll go over to the pet shop and get adopted out, and he'll be desexed and microchipped and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, my cat still hasn't turned up. The other two are better. They're not as skittish. I'm thinking that maybe it is possible that she's been bitten by a snake, because she's just disappeared. Just completely disappeared. And the other two, as I said, the other two were really skittish. Truffles is still calling for her because they were quite good friends and playmates, and they were also siblings. So she's still calling for her, although not as much. Oh, look, I've got a knot there. Let me bring that back down. Am I going to get it out? Don't you just hate it when you get knots? So annoying. Let me see if I can feed this needle back down without getting caught. Yes. Oh, a bit of a reverse sewing there. Okay, where is the knot? Aha, there it is. Of course, it's right underneath. Okay, we got that out. I don't know what I did then. Yeah, so I just, I don't know. I just don't know what happened to her. And that's the worst part, not knowing. None of the neighbours have seen her either, which is very unusual. Because, excuse me, Liz likes to feed my cats. And my cats also know it. I often catch them. They don't go out of the fence and go into his yard. There's a little, like, divot in the ground underneath the fence, and so they scoot underneath the fence into his backyard, and you hear him talking to them out there. I don't know. I think he likes it because they go and visit him, and he's got someone to talk to. Yeah, he sits out there, has a cuppa with them. They keep him company. So yeah, but anyway, if I do end up finding out what happened to her and whatnot, I'll keep you updated. I'm pretty devo though, because she was my favourite. Like, I love all my cats, but Squeakles was so cute because she didn't meow, she squeaked. That's why we called her Squeakles. Because she would, yeah, she would squeak all the time. I might just lock this camera because I don't want it to keep focusing, just in case that was doing that. I forgot to do it before I started. I need to make myself a checklist, lock camera screen. Anyway, it shouldn't have been trying to focus too hard. But yeah, so the little kitten's being looked after. We just didn't have the time or the, I mean, we were always going to surrender it anyway, so we'll find it a good home, or one or the other. And yeah. But anyway, enough about that. How was everybody's weekend? Let me know what you got up to on the weekend. I did some reading. I did a little bit of stitching. On Saturday, I got over 1,000 stitches into my Heaven and Earth design, Red Dragon. So I was pretty happy with that. It's still sitting on the frame. So yeah, I'll get some more stitches into that this week as well. We've had the new bingo roll, which I've got to pull that chart out and get stuck into that. What else have I done this weekend? Well, apart from hurt my back and go slow mode yesterday. It's just the universe's way of saying slow down. So yeah, so I've slowed down now. Okay. Anyway, as I say, shish happens. Alright, I can get rid of this little knot now. Oh. Bumpity bump. Okay, get that back where it was. Makes it a lot easier when everything's already, you've already done half the leg, you just fill it in. Makes it super, I don't know if it makes it super quick or not, but it makes it a lot easier, not having to count and recount and all that sort of stuff. I started watching Carnival Row with Brendan. So we only watched that when he's home, because he's been doing a lot of stuff, getting the workshop up to scratch and all the rest of it, and he's been doing a lot of earthworks and stuff over there, so he has been spending a considerable amount of time over the workshop, and he's got a room over there that he can just crash in if it gets too late, rather than drive home, which is fine. And yeah, so he's been spending a bit of time over there, so he doesn't watch it until he's at home. And I love it, but I'm absolutely devoted. I mentioned it, and someone said it's only got 2 series in it, so I went and done some research, and they cancelled it. Right, so there's only 20 episodes, and I'm like, why? Why would you cancel it? It's always the way when I find a show that I really like, that I'd be happy to commit to. Yeah, no, they can't cancel it after 2 seasons. This is why I don't watch a lot of TV these days, because they just, they just don't seem to stick with series as much, like ones that are, like, the special effects in it are pretty awesome. So basically what it's about, for those that don't know what it's about, tell me in the comments below if you've watched it before too. So what it's about is it starts out with a murder, an assault, and there's been some murders in a place called the Berg and down on the Row. And the Row is where basically all the fae are. So you've got fairies, you've got pucks, you've got different sorts of fae, right? I can't remember all of them, but anyway, you've got different sorts of fae. The main 2 fae that we see in it are pucks and fairies, and yeah, so basically this police officer is trying to find out who is doing this to all of the Fae, because it's only the Fae that are getting assaulted. And anyway, it turns out that it goes from talking to this woman about the assault, then there's a murder, and it goes from there. So he's investigating it, and then I think we're only up to episode 7. So far it's been a little like there's that murder that's going on, but we're getting a lot of backstory of the main characters. So Verlet is the main fairy in it, and then there's what's his rider? Is it? Yeah, he's the police officer. Yeah, so he's, and they call it the constabulary, and it's set in like 1800s. Yeah, 1800s I'd go. Like, looks like a bit like London in the 1800s. Very, like, it's very fantasy. What was it? It was described as neo-fantasy. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's quite in depth. Like, each episode goes for about an hour. And a lot goes in. Like, there's a really good storyline in it. So much so that Brendan goes, I wonder if there's books, but there's not. Apparently it was a script for a movie originally it was going to be for, but then they decided to turn it into a TV series, and then they went and cancelled it anyway. So I'm hoping, because they started it in it 2 seasons have been a couple of years apart, because it started in 2019, then the dreaded sea come along, and then they started filming again last year, and so it's come out this year, and it's on Amazon Prime. And I'm not affiliated with Amazon Prime or anything like that. These are just the TV shows that I'm watching that I'm interested in. So yeah, so that I was quite disappointed when I found out there was only 2 seasons, because I think it could have just went so, like, it could go so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I like that sort of stuff though. You know, like there is a bit of, you know, violence in it and whatnot, but it's not super, well, when you see the dead bodies, it's super graphic, because it's a little bit like Jack the Ripper. Remember, like, how he disemboweled the people that he killed. It's a bit like that, but it's all based around fantasy and folklore and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's actually really good. And the wings on the fairies, when they're doing the special effects on the fairies, oh my god, they done so well with the special effects. Like, as I said to Brent, I said, like, they almost look really, like, so real. Like, you know, normally, like, when you watch a show, sometimes you can see that they're a bit dodgy, but like these wings on the fairies, like, amazing, absolutely amazing. Just, like, even if you don't watch the series, just go and check out the first couple where you see them flying, and their wings flapping and stuff like that. Oh my god, like, the special effects on them are just absolutely phenomenal. Like, and they even do close-ups of the wings on their back, and like when the main character confronts the police officer, she's got him pinned down in one episode, and you get an overhead view like this of her back and her wings, and yeah, and basically, so well done. So well done. So I'm looking forward to watching it, but I'm a little bit disappointed at the same time that we only have 13 episodes to go, and then there'll be no more. That's very frustrating. So what are you guys watching in that? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're watching, what you're right into at the moment. There was a movie that I just caught a little bit of that Brennan was watching the other day, that has, oh, what was his name? I can't even think of his name now. It's too early in the morning. Anyway, I know what it's called. I'm going to watch it, and then I'll tell you what it's all about. But the premise behind it is that they, so rich dudes or whatever, from what Brendan told me, some rich dudes are dying very sick, whatever. They have paid these people to come in and they're given something that they want in exchange. So this particular guy, his daughter is really sick, so he exchanges his life for her life. But in exchanging his life for her life, the old guy that is purchasing him is transferring his consciousness into Ryan Reynolds, that's his name. I knew it'd come to me. He's in it, and yeah, so basically, from what Brendan told me, they transfer their consciousness into another person, and then they've got to take these tablets to push that person's like, they're not dead as such, they've just transferred their consciousness into that person, and then they're taking pills to suppress the other person's consciousness, but they can pop in every now and again. And then what will happen if they stop taking those pills, the original owner of the body, let's say, is able to come, like, push back into, but they come back very disorientated, not knowing where they are and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, it was a pretty good, I've seen about 10-15 minutes of it, and I'm like, yeah, it's action. I think I even said to Brown, I said, this is not like a movie that you watch. Where's the chick flick? He goes, oh, it looked all right. So, and he said it was pretty good. So I'm going to, I will probably watch that today because I'm not going to be doing much of anything. I'm nearly finished all the books that I had wanted to read this month. A few of them were only very small ones. I finished Skylight Confessions the other day. That was a bingo prompt. That was a weird book, and I'm still thinking about it, but I'm not really sure about the whole thing. It was a bit doom and gloom for this particular family. Yeah, it was like, oh. So I'll probably do a lot of that today, write up all my reports and for the BookTube channel, which is usually what I do on Mondays anyway. I usually am doing filming, and but I just don't think I can sit there and do filming today. Luckily, I've got a few videos for the BookTube in the bank, and yeah, tomorrow will be a better day. Brennan's going to rub some deep heat into my back today. That usually loosens it up, and I've got some exercises to do to stretch it out. So what happened was, many years ago, in labour, I had an epidural, and I needed to move myself up the bed, and the nurse said, oh, just, hold the bed behind you and pull yourself up, because if anybody that's had an epidural knows that you're pretty much dead from the waist down, like from just under your breast down. And so I did that, and they were helping me, but I pulled myself up, and unbeknownst to me, because there was all that deadening there, I tore a muscle off my because yeah, as you know, when you're pregnant, your body is a lot looser and all that sort of stuff. All the hormones go through your body, your muscles are a lot looser, so you can stretch and grow with the baby. And so yeah, and because I was in that state, it was really easy, according to the doctors afterwards, because the next day I couldn't move my left shoulder, which meant I couldn't hold the baby to feed and whatnot. And basically, when they were talking to me, they said it is quite easy to do that when your body is in that, grow and stretch mode of hormones and whatnot. It's quite easy. So I've had it there all for long time, but I've known that it's there, and I take very good care of my left side, especially around the shoulder blade area and stuff like that. So I don't even know, like, I didn't do anything normally, not that I normally don't do, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've just, yeah, I'm always very conscious of, like, even the slightest twinge there, I will not lift anything. Because it's under my shoulder blade, it's not necessarily connected to me doing something with my back, it's with my arms and my shoulder. So yeah, but anyway, I'll do all the things, and as I said, I'll probably just write up some reports, or not reports, just some notes and stuff that I want to cover for the books when I talk about them and stuff like that. So, and I'll do some planning and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the movie's only going to take 2 hours, so I've got to fill in the rest of the day. I mean, I could just lay down and do nothing, but I find that often exacerbates the situation and I end up sorer for longer. So I'm better off going about my day, but just going about it a little bit more gently. Gently, as they say. Neroli is doing she's very, very happy with the curriculum that she's got. We got through the paperwork that we've got to send to the education department, so that's good. And so basically what I have to do now, so we had to fill out what we had a form. I paid extra for them to do it because I have zero time to sit down and write up a lengthy report, and it cost me $100 for them to do it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm happy to pay that. And because I was buying the full term, I was getting $100 off anyway. So I just paid the full price what I would have paid for if I was buying them by the term, the curriculum by the term. So anyway, yeah. So all I had to do was fill out how she went when she was in school. So we just looked back to her year 9 because she wasn't in 2 weeks of year 10 she did last year. So basically, yeah, I just wrote that, what was on her school reports, put all that in and then sent that off to them, and then they've sent me back like a massive report and what our projections are and all the rest of it for her year, and you know what she wants to achieve and all that sort of stuff, and what her outcomes are. So we now have to send that off excuse me, to the education department, the homeschooling registrar. And yeah, and then we're done. That's all I have to do for that, because I've got everything else done. And then, so I'll send that off today, because that's just a point of attaching it to an email and sending it off. And then someone apparently will ring me and they will tell me what I need to do as far as reporting goes and all that sort of stuff. So, because that's different. That will be in the education department side of it, not through the homeschooling curriculum side of it. So, no doubt there'll be a fee for that. There always usually is. Oh, dear me. So, yeah. But she spent yesterday, she cleaned her room yesterday, and she's got it all set up. She's got her... Not that her room was dirty, but you know what I mean. Like, she just, when I say cleaned her room, she's, you know, moved stuff around, and I believe she's got herself all set up and ready to go. I can see her progress, so if she's slacking or anything like that, we've had a bit of a talk last week. You know, like, I'm happy for you to do homeschooling, but I'm not happy for you to not do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I'm not purchasing this for you and putting all this money into it if you're just going to turn around in 2 weeks and go, you know what, it's not for me. So 1, we need to make sure that you do it. 2, you need to do your schoolwork before you do anything else. And I said, just so you know, I'm happy for you to do it in your room because you're doing it around your work and all that sort of stuff. But the moment I think that you're mucking around, you won't be doing it in your room. You'll be doing it under my supervision, and you won't be having your Xbox or your TV. And she just looked at me and I said, them the rules, mate. And I said, we're not mucking around on this one. And she's like, yeah, no, that's fair enough. So, and then towards the end of the week, she was getting text messages and stuff from friends that were still at school, and walked in. I'm like, what's up, mate? And she looked a bit down, and she goes, oh, just people texting me from school and carrying on with all this person and that person. She goes, I hate it. She goes, I don't understand why they feel the need to keep involving me. And I said, that's high school, mate. Unfortunately, that's just the way high school is. So yeah, I said, just don't answer the phone during the day. I said, if you're home and you're doing your thing, just don't answer the phone. Don't, just, yeah. She goes, yeah. She goes, I'm going to have to start doing it. She goes, I just don't want to know. She goes, I just do not care. So yeah, because anybody that she knows, they've left. That she's close friends with, they've actually left school and have gone into apprenticeships and all that sort of stuff. Like some of the kids that she knows, they just weren't equipped to deal with mainstream schooling. So they've basically decided that, you know what, I'm just going to get on with it, and they've left school. A couple of them are doing traineeships through a couple of different places around town. Others have gone straight into apprenticeships. Yeah, there's just some kids just aren't emotionally able to deal with the teenage angst on a regular basis, and pretty much all these kids are like that she knows. So I don't blame them, really. Like, it's just, yeah. I don't think I'd like to do high school again. It's pretty average. And it's such, like, and the thing is, it's like such a small part, like, it's a huge part of their life, but it's a small part of their overall life. And they get so invested in the drama and all that. And then, like, half the people you don't even see again. You leave school and you just don't even see them again. There's only a handful of them that you might even know in 10 years' time. It's, you know, it's rare for people to still have the same friendships that they had in high school. Well, the people I know anyway. I mean, I'm sure that's not the same experience for everybody. But yeah, so... But she is a lot older now. She's had that year out of school. To know that it's not always like that. That's just, you know, it's just a small fragment of your life and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I believe she's got an interview today for another fast food outlet, so she's trying to pick up some extra shifts, which will be good. Oh, did it again. Is it going to come out? Yes. I always get worried that the knots won't come out, and then you get these loops on the back. It's a very overcast day here today. Normally I have the sun coming through in the morning into the, you know, for a little while in the craft room, but it's not coming through today. It's very overcast. So my plans for this week is today taking it easy and just doing a bit of planning and whatnot, but we've got our Stitch with Me, our sewing tutorial this week, and you have to wait and see what that is. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. We've also got our live stream on Thursday, and yeah, Friday we've got floss tube, so we'll be getting to see my progress, which I've actually made pretty good progress on my charts this week, which I'm pretty happy about. Well, I've done this, like you can see here, I've got all this sorted, like, and you can see I've done some of the tree, and I wasn't just going to leave the thread hanging there, so I just started coming back down. So I'll probably map this out over here and then start mapping out the little banners, and because we've got Snow Village as a banner going across the center there. And I know it looks like I don't have much on this side, but I'm turning this into a cushion, so I only need 1/4 of an inch on this side, so I wasn't too fussed. I trimmed this off so it'd fit in my frame and I could leave it in the frame. So yeah. And because I am turning them all into a cushion, I only really need I still have, like, I've got, this had a 3-inch border on it originally, but I cut off 2 inches on this side. So basically I will still have that 3-inch border on the ones when I start them, and once I've got the first one in, then I will be able to square off this side because I can keep that nice and straight then. Yeah. does make it so much easier doing it this way. I don't even have to count. I know I'm not going wrong. I've double checked it before I got on camera. So basically when I started stitching this, all I did was I just did one row at a time and crossed it off, and then made sure that I got it right. Because yeah, I was like, and up here I actually put there's supposed to be 2 little squares left out. I accidentally put one in, but I didn't worry about pulling it out because I didn't notice until I'd already got over to this guy. And yeah, and yes, he is supposed to have a flat head because he's got a hat on. Yeah. But we almost have 4 snowmen, which is great. Not long to go and we'll be on to our next block for sure. I'm so glad that I decided to do this in the end. Just do it. Like, I'm not using... There are some fancy flosses in it, but the variegation is not huge in it. So like you can see here, like this is a fancy floss. There's not much variegation. This tea and biscuits here had hardly any. The green's got hardly any. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but yeah, and the red's got a little bit, but so those ones I will probably have to, when I get to the houses, I'll probably have to do them one cross at a time. But for the most part, like all the white and everything, at least I can, and that seems to be where I make the most mistakes, is in the white. So, and of course I'll do all the back stitching and everything on this row before I roll it again. I love that sound. Hearing the floss go through the Aida cloth. It's progress. It's the sound of progress, isn't it? So how's everybody going? If you're participating in the bingo challenges, how's everybody going with it? Are you getting your stitching done each week? I'm enjoying it. I'm getting a lot of progress done on charts that I haven't necessarily... I still am able to pick the charts that I want to work on to fit the prompts, because a lot of time, you know, a chart will fit multiple prompts, but I'm still wanting to get, you know, progress on a lot of, you know, at least 12, you know, one a week as I'm doing this time, which is working out really good, because I'm getting a lot of time in it, which means that I am making a fair chunk of progress. Like last week, you've seen that I worked on, I showed the pina colada one, and I made a ton of progress on that. That was so beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. So hopefully in the next round I might be able to get some more stitches into it. Just finding with my busy schedule and whatnot, it seems to be a lot easier. I'm still making progress, a lot less stress, because I already know what I'm working on. Just untangle this a bit, it's a bit twisted up. Yeah, so I already know what I'm working on and all that sort of stuff, so that makes it a lot easier. And where am I up to? And less stressful, because I've got a bag. I've got all my 12 charts for the 12 weeks. sorry, I have 11 charts because one was a free choice and I hadn't made a decision on what I was going to work on for that one. So yeah, I have them all sitting there, and yeah, I just meet that prompt, and then it gives me an opportunity to stitch on this one a little bit more during the week, and also on my Heaven and Earth for Savannah. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm doing. So floss tube is going to be pretty short this year, each one. You know, sometimes they might go a bit longer depending on what's happening. As you know, I didn't put any charts in myself this time, but we've still got some amazing charts in the Down the Rabbit Hole magazine. So if you haven't got your copy yet, the links are all down below. Go and check that out. It's only $6.95. You get 9 different charts in there. Some quick weekend projects, words, that you can do in there as well. And we also have bundle packs from last year, so if you missed out on any of the magazines last year, they're all on the website as well, so you can go and check them out. So what I sometimes do after I've finished a block or something with a lot of white like this in it, I have, you know, the little spoolies you get that are for like mascara for your eyelashes. I buy those, and then I just sort of brush it over, and it tends to make it sit a little bit flatter. So you can, I've done it already on this one, and you can see it sits a little bit flatter. So after I've done these ones, I just sort of give it a little light brush, not rub it or anything, just a light brush, and it tends to just help it sit a little bit nicer. I don't know why. Maybe it's my imagination, but that's what I do. I give my little project a bit of a comb. And of course, once I wash it and everything settles down too. Yeah, and railroading is an option. You can railroad. That's where you split the 2 threads and you go through it, and it will sit straight up. But I always forget to do it, so I'm no good at that. All right. So what else have I got planned today? That's about it, I think. I'm definitely not doing any housework, and I'm definitely not doing any washing. Neralee's got washing there. She'll be hanging that out. Brendan's off to work again today. He's got a slow day today, but he's got to go and do some truck maintenance and whatnot, finish that off, change wheels and all sorts of stuff yesterday. Yeah, so when he's got a down day, he does a lot of truck maintenance and stuff like that, which is good. Keeps everything running smoothly. Oh, went one too far then. Let me just pull that out. That don't look right. Let's rethread that, shall we? Try that again. It's so quiet this morning. For a Monday morning, you can hear all the birds, and it's like everybody's just taken a breather from the hot weather. It's overcast and yeah. Well, we now have, in a couple more rows, we will have 4 little snowmen. And that's not too bad, because when did we start this? We started this at the beginning, at the beginning of the last week of January, didn't we? So we haven't done too bad. It's only, 3 weeks essentially. So we'll be on to the next one before we know it. And then we'll just have 4 more to go after we finish this row. Is that a little bit weird then? Missed one there. I find too, like, it's sometimes when you do it this way, it's really easy to miss a stitch, especially with white. It just seems to, I don't know. I definitely will be using 12 weight though. If I have another one where there's a lot of white like this, I definitely will be using 12 weight. I think it just sits nicer, and yeah, we have all these tools at our disposal, so we may as well use them, right, to enjoy our stitching. I was planning on doing some sewing today, but yeah, that's not going to happen. Disappointed, but anyway. Alright, let's do these last 3 stitches, and then that way we have our 4 little snowmen. Well, the bodies are, and then I've just got to add all the other little bits and pieces onto it, which are only a couple of stitches. So we've just got to add the nose, and then there's some French knots for the eyes, the arms, and we've got a hat on this guy here. So yeah, and we've got a little bow on her over here, and also on her. So yeah, just the buttons, the little bits down the front are French knots, and then we've got his hat, her little bows, and their arms, which are, I'll be doing them because I've got to pull more of that colour out anyway. Yeah, and then so basically once I get this side in, we're up to the Snow Village up the top. So yeah, not a lot to go really. I'm pretty happy with our progress. What do you reckon? All right, well, I'm going to call it a day today because I really need to stop sitting up. I need to lay down and stretch my back out. Whoa, it's a little bit sore. Yeah, so anyway, that is it for me today. I hope that you got some stitching in and you've made some more progress on your Snow Village as well. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've made it this far and you have yet to subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up for watching the video, and also leave me a snowflake down in the comments if you've made it this far. But that is it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Hope you get lots of stitching in, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.